Okay, this is a video on the Jade Neopixel Lightsaber that I just sold on eBay, I think to Dan, and this is it. Obviously just showing you a few things. Retention screw at the front here. This is a real garnet, silver plated on here, and then custom made with the thread to fit this the hole that was on this hilt. Loosening that off a bit, you've got the blade plug in here. We give that a pull, and that'll come out. It's the GX16 connector 4-pin. Inside there you can see that. There is a keyway on it that needs to be lined up when it's put back in. Pretty easy to do. You just push that in gently. I leave it out just a fraction, just to show off a glow around the edge. This piece here does come off. If you do want to dismantle this section here, I wouldn't advise because of the cables, but you have to back off that screw or take that off completely to undo this bit of the hilt. But there is cables in here that are twisted up as it screws up. This is the power key and the auxiliary key, or buttons. So power button, auxiliary, various functions, and I'll explain those in a second. The main hilt unscrews here, and you can obviously unscrew the back pommel as well. Undoing it, I hold the back pommel and the back section of the hilt. Just give that an unscrew. This will loosen off. This has got a rubber gasket that pushes up to give a nice airtight seal and secure this on without any vibration making it wanting to come off. So pulling that out, you've got now battery tape on here. I will use for shipping to stop that kill key from turning. The board mounted on top. Pull that out. There's a small screw here on the chassis part in here. There's a slot that'll stop that coming out any further, so that's about as far as it goes. And obviously for display purposes you put that back on and just rest that there like that. You have that on display with the crystal chamber, real quartz crystal inside. Now because I've already done this video once and didn't have it on record, which was pretty silly of me, I have to remove this tape, which I can do fairly easily. So we just move that tape out of the way, and I'll obviously cut this off. Turn the kill key 180 degrees. This one lights up, permanent power, so that just lights up if power's on. So it's lit. Got some LEDs in the back here, just for accent LEDs. The crystal's pulsing. This pulse is the same colour as the blade's going to be when it turns on. So magenta for Mara Jade, magenta buttons. This one's just pulsing. And if it turns on, obviously the pulse here will speed up. Blade's turned on, blade plug's on. And if you do a clash or a blast, that'll be showing up on here in the blade. This is the accent LEDs at the back. Pulsing a bit faster, turning it off. They slow down. So that's the basic operation. The kill key here basically turn to turn it on, turn to turn it off. Make sure that LED is extinguished when it's off. USB port is at the back here for the Tinsy Saber board, and the SD card's under that. Tweezers to get the SD card out. And USB, I'll supply it with a cable with a 90-degree bend on it, micro USB, that easily plugs in. It just goes into the computer. Pull the kill key out to recharge. So pull the kill key out, and I'll be supplying a recharge cable. That on the end that just plugs into the recharge port, and then USB on the other end, with a small recharge circuit in the middle, which will be put in black heat shrink. So that's the general aspects of the saber. Putting this back on makes a big difference to volume. What I do here, again, I loosen this back off just a fraction, tighten this all the way till it locks down on the threads. You feel that, then you tighten this back bit up, and it's on the rubber grommet at the back. You just tighten that up a bit, and you'll see that it won't slip off because it's against that rubber grommet. And then turning it on now makes a big difference in obviously the volume. So on this one, auxiliary key changes the font.
Smooth Jedi, smooth gray, velocity.
And then a short press on the power button turns it on. Short press turns it off. A long press on the power button when it's off will give us the music. Long press turns the music off. If the music's on and you change font, it kills the music as well and changes the font. A couple of other features I put on here is a long press on the power button and a clash while it's off changes the volume. There's 3 different step levels that it goes to. So that's now low level. You can hardly hear it. Good for testing at night. Alright, just it.
Adjust level high.
Maximum volume. And then
adjust level middle.
Middle is just the normal volume level that I've programmed. And then the other one is to get the battery voltage quickly. While it's off, you just press the auxiliary key and give it a clash.
Crystal's power level 4.01 volts.
4.01. So fully charged, almost fully charged battery.
Meteor.
Moving through the fonts. Again, crystal will change. We'll probably look at that. The crystal will change to the colour of the blade. So there we go. So we're going to have a blue or cyan blade,
Nebula.
blue blade, white blade.
The Dark Order.
It's a red fire blade. Calibrate font with a sort of an orange red blade. Another magenta blade. That's the battery monitor, green pulsing, which means battery's all good. That'll go to blue, and then obviously right down and change colour when it's getting near flat. That's the beginning. So obviously, as I said, that mimics the blade that's come on now. Off.
Smooth grey. Velocity.
This one, so we've got a pulsing, matching the blade, pulsing. And then different effects. Pressing the auxiliary, blaster effects. Press and hold the auxiliary, lock up. It stays on until you press the button again. The other way to get to lock up is to press and hold the power button with a clash. That was a force. Actually, long press on the power and release is the force sound. What else is there? Turning it off. Put this back together so we get more volume. Just make sure that's done up. Tighten that back pommel section. A bit still up tight. Clash sensitivity is set quite high because once the blade's in, it works fine. And just dropping the blade in. You don't have to turn it off. You just pull this out. Dust cap on the end of the blade. Same connector. Just we're going to line it up. That drops in. Tighten up the retention screw on the top, and then fire it up. There we go. You can see it better in the reflection. Effects. It's a fire blade with the magenta. Blast doesn't come up on here as an effect, it's more the lockup comes through as a light. Meteor. Meteor. Font, different effects.
Nebula.
Blue blade. It's got the white spark on the startup.
Showtime.
White blade.
The Dark Order.
This is your red fire blade.
Calibrate.
This is the calibrate font. This one's quite neat. It's a deep pulsing orange red. The purple on the, or magenta on the startup. Another colour cycle starting blade.
Crystal energy light.
It's your battery monitor. Once the blade's been on, obviously it's been drawing a bit of current. The battery pulls down voltage a little bit, so it's probably reading about 3.9 volts. Back to the beginning. See the clash there. Sounds.
Smooth Jedi.
This is the Smooth Swing version 2 fonts from Thexted. Very neat fonts. And yeah, just so I can show you a bit easier, I'll take this blade out.
Smooth grey.
And obviously no plug in now. You can put the plug back in. Good idea for the responsiveness of the Smooth Swing. It's very neat. Blade plug back in.
Velocity.
Full sound. That's it. We've got a small glow through effect that happens through here. The blade in. Other than that, it's got the converter holder on it. I'll throw in a belt clip for that. Obviously you get the Mara Jade character as well. Mint box condition. I've just got to glue that back. It's come off over time. Got all the saber inside. This saber. Good to put it in with the display. So that's about it. You can obviously take out the back pommel here. Give that a bit of a hit, and that'll drop down, and you can access the kill key through the back here as well. And just turn that off. Slide that back up, put the back pommel section back on, and we're all done. Obviously I'll tape up that kill key, and you can take that off once you receive it, and make sure it all works. It'll be fully charged on shipping anyway. Cheers, thank you, and just email me if there's any questions.